And I would say that if you look at customer service or customer focused industries, they really pay close attention to their customers, because they know that if they don't, they're going to lose the business and customers are going to go elsewhere. And I think whilst we don't want to compare patients with customers, you know, the attention that's given in the customer focused industries, I think we owe that to our patients, so that we listen and we make services better. And I've just come back from Dublin, and in the airport they had 4 smiley faces, smiley to sad, and you press a button and that tells you whether or not the experience of the restrooms was good. And so that's good as a starter, but what you need is a little bit more depth. So I think it all depends on what you're using the information for, where you can range from the snapshot to the really rich narrative where people are actually telling you in great detail their story. But also, one of the great things I've seen is the shadowing, where you get individual clinical members of staff going out and shadowing a patient's experience. Because I sometimes think a patient's voice doesn't necessarily have to be the traditional route of them telling us. It can be us watching and then listening after we've seen what they've experienced. As an example, I remember a consultant orthopaedic surgeon shadowing a patient from A&E to the ward, and he saw a wonderful pain block be given to this patient with a fracture, and he felt that would be one of the pieces of care that the patient would comment on when he had a post-shadowing interview. And when he actually asked the patient what were the most important bits, she said, well, she expected the pain to be relieved, but what she didn't expect was the domestic to give her a cup of tea when she asked for one. I think the next steps forward are not just about listening to patients, which is crucial. It's also about listening to staff, because ultimately happy staff make happy patients. And we need to understand if staff are stretched, they don't have the resources, they're working long shifts with limited staff, that, you know, their ability to create a positive environment and for patients is limited. So I think it's about listening to staff, listening to patients and their families and carers as well.